I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in the debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary research and we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland, smoking brother love a Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts, so my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead. You're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Yeah, come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube and apologize like Dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists sent me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a Stella with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up and your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like Akhenaten City for my woman in gold. I keep the pseudos running, people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. And ain't nothing happen to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connections. My complexion, pure black, that's the S. You love me? Show me some love. All right.
Peace in the building, what's up? Let's listen to this next song and get right to it.
Yeah, and I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but this homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Alright, it's getting kinda dirty in these YouTube streets. The Amon-Ra squad, God thinking you dudes weak. Islam or Judaism, where you learn what you dudes teach. The West African rappers slapping with that voodoo speech. All that sub-Saharan terror about a cuckoo feet. I'm like Norma, the agricultural farmer that grew you wheat for the storehouses. We feed the Hebrews and lead the people when we defeat the feeble. They wanna know polite rip me off, but Sonetta paid me my money though, that mean he 100. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Nubian with the Jews, I rock the pinky. I think Jesus got to save me, a doctor save me, a doctor inky. I cop the copper jewels, I'm blue and red. I'm not the chakra doctor, y'all plain woke. But you in bed, you won't pop a chopper, you Grandmaster J. You just talking. Punks turn the other cheek and you will walk away. Y'all gon' have to pardon my Moorish. That's Taharka Bay. I'm on that black African power on my darkest day. And that's my brother Ankh stomping them other punks. We brought them gators to Italy, you loving the Moors. And now I'm teaching from my shrine like brother Jabari. Scope in the savannah cause I'm on another safari. Tasha K showed us Frank record. Young Pharaoh just losing his mind and y'all can't help him. I know one thing, you're a fool if you're still out here donating to Umar school, that shit through. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Look. You showing your hidden colors like Tariq Nasheed. A bunch of pseudo-information I don't think I need. Probably lying on the text, ask Divine or Zion Lax. Just get that microphone ready. With Metal Netta, I'm Stone Jetty. Or Ujahu, or Saw Imhotep. Y'all probably timid still on them Bobby Hemmett teachings. I'm in Gozy with the DNA. Cats corny and it's killing me too. You talk that black shit, but you look Arab like Gorilla Hebrew. You
need therapy, they telling me just chillin', be cool. I'm a magi orchard, you a sad guy talking.
And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh.
All right, hold up. Hey, can you close the door for me? Let me see something. What's up with the people? Let's get it popping. What's up? How y'all doing? Get my mic right. My mic sounds nice. Check one. All right, so the question of the day, and we're going to look over some primary text and do our thing. The question is, and I want to point out some things that I noticed. And we're going to examine, why is Egypt Upper Egypt? Man, I ain't looked at Bitcoin. I seen it at 75. You said congratulations. That thing hit 100,000 or something. You gonna make me look. Why is Egypt the two lands? I mean, why is Egypt viewed? I mean, why are the two lands viewed as Egypt? Oh, that shit say 84. Golly. All right, that's what we've been talking about that for years. So the question is, and the funny part is, my daughter, I got my daughter some Bitcoin when it was 16, and she can't touch it till she 18. And the account, we're gonna have to go and deal with all that stuff. All right, but shout out to everybody who appreciating that right now. I haven't been focusing on that at all. So let me see. When they say Upper and Lower Egypt, and they translate things as Upper and Lower Egypt, it's kind of misleading. Because if we understand the argument I'm going to try to lay out today, we'll see that there was never really, to the ancient Egyptian, a concept of Upper and Lower Egypt. We can't find a concept of Upper and Lower Egypt by the way that we translate things back in no text, and we'll show what I'm talking about. We'll look at what I'm talking about. Upper and Lower Egypt. Yep. I worked on that project for a long time. Upper and Lower Egypt is a thing that they kind of made up in Egyptology. You know what I'm saying? And I want to show some things. So I got this video from Jeremy Pope up here where he's not necessarily talking about Upper and Lower Egypt. What he is giving us a wonderful presentation that'll lead to his understanding of the double kingdom. And as he expresses it, or as he hypothesizes, as he talks about it, he basically entertains Egypt and Kush as a double kingdom. So this presentation is so good, I don't want to just skip to the part where he's talking about what I'm talking about, but I might just play that part first so we can hear, like, let us hear the conclusion, because when I stop it, I'm just going to be getting into what I'm getting into. So let me see if I can just find this one particular point. And this is a really good presentation. Then what we'll look at is a few different things by few different primary texts to see what's going on. But I can't find the point that I was thought he had a quote about Cush up here. I think this is it. So let's just hear this part. He's going to start talking about Israel and Taharka. And let's see.
Of the king of Cush. We can easily picture them now. Bare-chested, sporting a thick head of hair, with a lightweight circular shield on the left shoulder and an archer's loose on the right thumb. Drawing a triple curved bow as black horses with white legs carry them rapidly across the plain. No mention is made of any infantry in the double kingdom's ranks, a curious omission, but perhaps only a matter of emphasis. Or perhaps the infantry was lagging just slightly behind. Also missing from Sennacherib's account is the name of his Cushite royal opponent. Presumably the Cushite king commanded this maneuver from afar. And Sennacherib neglected to list any royal captives or provide any description of pursuing the defeated after battle. But Sennacherib does claim that he defeated the double kingdom at Eltekeh, after which he turned inland toward Judah. According to the later account provided by the Hebrew Bible, Sennacherib next besieged Lachish and then advanced upon Libnah. At this point in the narrative, the biblical author states that the God of Judah vowed to put a spirit in the king of Assyria, that he would hear a report and it would convince him to return to his own land. Spirit does seem to be the best translation, as it captures the sense of urgent persuasion. But the word in Hebrew is ruach, literally a wind, an apt metaphor for any sudden, unexpected, disorienting, and ultimately evanescent factor that might convince an invading army to change course, change plans, or even retreat. Given the ambiguity of the passage, we historians should consider all such factors mentioned in the surviving evidence, including the one mentioned just 2 sentences later. Another military contingent sent by the king of Cush, coming fast across the plain. Thank you all for listening, and thanks especially to the many individuals and institutions.
All right, he didn't even say what I wanted him to say. He was going to speak on the double kingdom. So we might just have to watch a little bit more of this because this was too much. I mean, this is too good. But what I just want us to hear that part, and I don't got to pinpoint it, so I apologize. Let me see. Here we go.
Burial pit, whose Taseti, conventionally translated as land of the bow. However, this name has presented a host of logical pitfalls for modern interpretation. About 15 years ago, I delivered a lecture at an American museum, and during the question and answer session that followed, one of the audience members opined that the armies of Cush must have been hindered by this reliance on the bow, because, he said, the bow is a primitive weapon. This struck me as an interesting problem for thought.
Well, his problem that he's illustrating about the hindrance of the bow and the problem that I want to illustrate about Taseti are actually 2 different things. And so I'm gonna tap back into this video later, but I'll keep on building on it. So we find terms like Taseti, Tashmahu, and Tamehu, indicating different lands from the Egyptian perspective. I just wrote them out. That could be written out in many different ways. But I want to illustrate something. Or I could take this first top off. Right? The word ancient, this word is Kemet. Right? It appears in about 12th dynasty to talk about a particular location. And the root of the term is black. We often translate it as the Black City. Some say the black community because the 049 is a question whether it indicates land or the people gathering on the land. Right? But you will never find, also let's realize this is the word Egyptologists translate back as Egypt. Ancient Egyptians used adjectives and they could say upper and lower. I challenge anyone to find Kemet modified by adjective to say upper or lower. That would be what we should translate back to Upper Egypt. That's a simple challenge. Find in the text where the ancient Egyptians said Upper Egypt. And find in the text when the ancient Egyptians said Lower Egypt. Lower Kemet, Upper Kemet. It'll probably be, how do they say upper? Here. They'll probably say Kemet Harry. Or something like that. That don't work. The areas that we call the Delta, this is one way you can find it. Find it in a couple different ways. This is just basically Tamehu. It's interesting that some say the root Tamehu means to fill. And they also got Mehu as a marshland. And all of these things. This will be what we call Lower Egypt. Or what Egyptologists translate as Lower Egypt. Down here we have a version of Tashama'u, right? I just wrote them up quick. I can show you in the dictionary. And this would be what we call Upper Egypt in translation. Now, we need to really shout out. I just made that background and said, let me change my background. Shout out to Indigenous. So we need to ask ourselves, is this concept of Upper and Lower Egypt as we've seen it, as we've been taught it, accurate? Or did Egyptians see these as two different places, two independent places that they would have to unify in order to have peace? We often talk about the unification of the two lands. Where in all of those texts, they never say the unification of this, Tamehu, and Tashama'u renders Kemet. It's kind of crazy. It just renders the two lands being unified. Now, when we talk about what people say nowadays, we need to look at this, and we're gonna pin the tail on the donkey, basically. We're gonna categorize things so that we can follow what's really going on. Because if they say all of the black people were in Upper Egypt, then which ancient Egyptian text on the screen pertaining to which of the three should we be looking up? I mean, I know I could have said that way better, but just forget it. On the screen, which location should we be looking for if they indeed said that, oh, the black people would have been in Upper Egypt? It will be this one, Tashama'u. Now, I'm just, again, I could have said that a whole lot better, but I'm not using the best tact right now, right? So if they talk about all the, particularly people who invaded and came in and settled in Avaris, and even later Pi Ramses or all these other places, they would be in Ta-Mehu. So I started noticing a few things when I was looking over some text this morning, right before I said I guess I'm about to go live. And I want to, if I could show you a translation, maybe I gotta go straight to the text corpus. So this is from Kamo Stella. And I need to also get the known map so we can see what's going on. I said known map. The map at? Oh, there we go. All right. Now, like I often show, everything from, let me make it bigger. Everything from number one right here up, that's what we would consider Ta-Mehu, what they call Lower Egypt. All right, now ask yourself this. So lower, like the butt, like the bottom. Why is the Delta and the Mediterranean areas the bottom of Egypt? From the ancient Egyptian perspective. It's the bottom. Let me say something. I didn't even know I could do that. Hold up. I want to chill on the map real quick. Why is it the bottom of Egypt? It's the bottom of Egypt because the top of Egypt, or the start of Egypt, was way down here where I'm blocking. You feel me? Particularly right around here. Now, our concept is that this is Upper Egypt and this is Southern Egypt. Lower Egypt. But the ancient Egyptians' concept was this was Tashama'u, one place, and this is Ta-Mehu, another place. And let's talk about it. Because the unification of these two lands did not even get equated to what we know as Kemet. In no text It ain't no text with a unification of these two lands. Besides, I apologize. It happens in it'd be the Ptolemies and the Greeks who do that. I'm gonna show you and I'm gonna prove it. Peace to the chat. Put up a comment if y'all up there, and I also got some new ideas that's gonna break YouTube. I thought of the idea ain't nobody doing that, everybody about to do as soon as I tell us what to do. Watch. But I'll bring that out later when we chilling. Now, this is the Varus right here, number 19. Right? And when we look at text that mention Avaris and the people of Avaris, first, when we go into Kamos and Amos, how they dealt with the Hyksos, the foreign rulers who were in Avaris, ruling over a people called the Aamu, some other Delta dwellers, as well as a few Nubians were found in Avaris, right? And even we got in a earlier time, I don't know how it's significant to what I'm talking about now, but it's two dynasties earlier. We got a Hikakasu named Nahesi, Asheray, Nahesi, something like that, right? Nahesi means the Nubian or the Southerner. So if you ruling up here and you call it the Southerner, there's something about it. Now I'm gonna click over here, and this says right here, Aamu, right here. Asiatics until the Middle Kingdom, this was considered the East. So you see Gaza, everything, anything you could think of, probably with that West Asian DNA that the modern Egyptians have now. But I don't have to tell you where West Asia is. And this ain't West Asia. If you was right here, you wouldn't have West Asian DNA unless, of course, you mix with some people who came in here. But we're going to show how the ancient Egyptians addressed and dealt with this. This being Avaris, Kamos was down here in Thebes. In the second intermediate period, when he fakes Hyksos, they was trying to get to Hyphae. So let me show you. When I put Hyksos Kingdom and go to images, check this out. Didn't they try to spread their wings? Let me show you. I'm just gonna find them. Come on, man. I ain't gonna subscribe just to see your image, dog. Let me see if I can find another map. Yeah, this is a good one too. Here's a good map of where the Hyksos. Now remember what I said. And let's see who can recall this. Because we got to learn this right. Here go a good map of where the Hyksos. Hey man, get these ads off my thing. That's free money you giving them. All of this stuff. Get it up out of here. Not interested, homie. All right, and anyway, here go. Let me save this image so I can work in my own space. All right, now look. Do you see how far down that they was actually ruling? Now this map is gonna kill it. Please remember what we learned in today about the two lands, about how they made up that upper and lower Egypt stuff. Now look at this. All of the yellow represents where the Hyksos had control over that area. The brown represents the kingdom of Kush. The orange is the actual native Egyptians. Did y'all trip off that? At this time period, all the native Egyptians was ruling was this orange right here. And I'm going to show you the primaries that can't tell you nothing. Now you see that. I'm going to make the map bigger. Everybody got to see. Thebes. See it say Thebes? So when we read the text, we got to understand something that ain't on this map that's key to what we're talking about is right in this area over here. It's some badass archers. They gonna say it today. Right here. And they was all over. But their homeland was in these, and I should go even further with this circle. Their homeland is the land of Mijah, which will be in these areas. Now, I'm going to ask a simple question. On the map we're looking at right now, where is Ta Shema'u? Remember? I'm going to give y'all a freshener. Ta Shema'u is where on this map? From the ancient Egyptian perspective, Ta Shema'u really went all the way up here. Just to keep it a buck. We don't even see, this is the Fayum area, and we don't even see the delta on the map. Tamehu would even be further up. So really, the only stronghold he was able to hold was in the heart. The heart of Ta Shema'u. Cush is down here. And we talking about Chamos and Amos. So you see that, right? They was able to hold this land. So let's go into the text. And look at in this time period, what the concept of Kemet was to Chamos. He wasn't even tripping. Even though they expanded their power, they got this knocked down. Now, don't let this circle being big and stretching out fool you. This is how circles work when you're working on a map. But the only areas of significance are along this green line, really. Right? Like, you ain't going to be all out here trying to rule nothing in the sand dunes. You just going to let them know how it's popping along the river and what they need to do if you ever encounter people way out in them areas. But along the river, along this green line is where really what we need to, how we should respect this yellow circle, this orange circle, and this brown circle. You feel me? Because the main travel routes is if you got any type of strength or power, you just walking on with the water. If you kind of scared, you got to get away from the water. Think about all animals. Come on, dog. You're going to find when you can finally drink because y'all ain't moving mean. Well, we're going to see how this happens. So I could go to the beginning because this part of the text in the TLA, it ain't that long. And I don't want to be covering it up, so hold up. But, I mean, maybe you could tell me what you prefer. But, and now it says, the mighty victorious king of the Theban nome. First of all, let's stop. This is what I be trying to say. He didn't say of Kemet. He did not say the mighty victorious king of Kemet. But he says the mighty victorious king of the Theban nome, watch Khepera, gifted with life forever, is an excellent king. Now, I got the primary right here if y'all want to get snooty. Don't play. Put it right on your head and say, read. What happened to the primary? Did I close the picture? Let me see. I got it somewhere. I ain't tripping. Did I save that picture? Let me see. Yeah, there you go. Open that thing back up. Read! Y'all want to start fronting today? Y'all want to start fronting today? Well, that Kemet, they hold the voice, we held Kemet. It's right about here. Well, from my elementary research today, it appeared that it was under this broken portion. Because I found the hair, but I don't know why they had this after the hair Kemet. Right? But so then we could go, you know, you don't just lean on that, you gotta have, before you get the bumper rumping them, I also checked with the secondary sources, right? And I closed a lot of that stuff out, but it's still right here. Here we go. So what I want to show us is a particular line. All right, now I gotta let it get bigger again. I want to show us a particular line. I have to get up out of there. I'm about to have to shrink. Hold on, I'll be having to do too much at once. Show us a particular line right here. Hold up. See if I can find it. And this text is not the shortest, but it got 3 different documents for it. But it's about, I'm on the wrong part. I'm gonna go to the top. And this line that I'm about to show us, I want us to be able to look at the grammar. I'm kind of trying to look around my microphone because in order to keep it out my camera shot, it's hella close to the monitor. So, excuse me. Now, the way they reconcile this demonstrative pronoun in front of the word Kemet, see, that can reconcile this tie right here first. You see this tie? There's a T and an A. That can reconcile that as a definite article. But what they do is say it's a demonstrative pronoun. Now let's break that down. And look at how this shit work, why we gotta be knowing the grammar. Because it'll say 2 different things, bruh. And they picking the one that make them say the thing they wanted to. And then they inject some words that ain't there. So if you look at the well, this is like Kher Pa Hejet Erisen M Kenu Ta Kemet. And it's like Horus, I said Horus. Upon the, now this Hejet make us think it's something weak. Something like the color shot to shine or something, but it got a X right here and an bird. The X and the bird together is most often destroying, breaking, or doing something like that. Even though I ain't looked up this word yet, I'm just reading off the determinatives. Next, we got a uri, which means to do, and then, or to create, or to make, and then we got a sin. So that somebody is creating some type of havoc in the interior of, now look at this, because it says Kenu, It says Kenu here, right? But then it says Ta. Now if we take this as a demonstrative pronoun, we're gonna say that. Or this. I talked to Jonathan Winterman about this and he couldn't even get around it. He was like, it's quite weird for them to say that this Kemet. But if you understand what we understand and what we teaching today, we gonna understand why they got. And first, let's talk about this. I'm sorry, because I didn't tell you the part about it being entertained as a definite article. Now, if this is the definite article, Ty, it's going to say the. They cannot render a translation without injecting words between this ta and the kemet. So guess what they do? They render it as a demonstrative pronoun, and then they say this, then they put in quotation marks, part of, but it's not in there. And then they say kemet, in order to make you think that Egypt was looked at the way we looked at it. But let me show you the true translation, and you can't fight this. It's better. This is not a demonstrative pronoun, as I argue with Jonathan Winterman. This is a definite article. The. What do we translate Kemet as? Black land, black city. Right? Look at me, got blurry. What happened, camera? Black land, black city. This could simply say they cause havoc in the interior of the black community. That worked perfectly. The Kemet. Now, we could talk about this 049 sign and whether it was ever used to indicate a land where that didn't have a community. If you go to where they not living, where there's no human life, they don't use the 049. So 049 is not about the land, it's about the people on the land. And they black. You mad at that? Deal with it. But it's like, but I don't want us to read this like that right now. We got to read it how it's stated. And if I look up this word, you'll see how reading the determined, we'll look up this word and we'll see how reading this determined probably puts us in the proper direction. Because it's upon the hejet with the X and a sparrow bird. So this hejet is like the smashing, the destruction, or the it ain't gonna be that bad though. Hejet is gonna be like upon, it's gonna be like disturbance, they made, see this is they, sin, and Uri is to do, to make, or to create. So it's upon the disturbance they made in the interior, if you're gonna say of, you're gonna have to say in the residence, in the interior of the or this. They say this, I say the, in the interior of the black land. And you know, I'm just saying land to be scholastically accurate. But this ain't what I came here to show us, and we're not about to read Helen Metamnecha till later. I want to get to the part where he's talking about how it shows us how he views Kemet. And I'm happy that this don't got no translations on it. Now you talking about something happening in a see? In a town, Brooke. Stop playing with me, y'all. Look at this word right here. If I take this word and it say town or village in the dictionary, you're gonna see how they actually view Kemet. It might say town, village, or harbor. All right, I need to do something to get this camera right because it's acting hella funny. I'm coming off the camera. I don't like that. I'm coming off. Town, village, or harbor, right? Now watch this. Fellow citizens, what's this right here? Town, village. See? A town or a quarter or a town. Now why is that significant? Because we read this sentence. I could put the whole sentence in the thing because there's too many terms. Like this term, percent, it also got an X on it. So let me show you, percent. Let me show you what I mean. If this word is something positive, I'm going to take PSSH. To divide, to split. Okay, now they want to divide and split Egypt. Watch this. So, percent in, we divide. So now this is not, I can tell you, this is the Hyksos king talking back. This is a letter he sent to the Cushite king. Because he's saying, we divide the towns of the black community, the black land. Now hold on. Let's go back to that map. Because they already told you, where did it go? Well, I'm gonna just go to the generic. They already told you that he got all of this area already. So why would he send a letter to the Cushite king trying to take all of this area that he already possesses? And Kamoses is complaining about it. All the Hyksos king is trying to get is this area here. Fine. Let me see if that, what I just said, finds any objection. Are y'all following this? In the letter, when the Hyksos king sends a letter to the Cushite king, he's talking about dividing, that's the word we just went up, the cities of Kemet. If he down here helps him up here in the yellow squash out this orange area. Y'all see that? Now, this is where you say, oh, the black people be in the South. See how this turned out? It's not going to work for you. But I want people to be clear that in this text, the context is, if this map is so true, all the way down to here, we got Hyksos rule. The area the Hyksos is trying to take is this last area right here, which is one of the most important, while all kings either got coronated up here in Memphis or down here in Thebes. The majority of them got coronated in Thebes and got buried right over here somewhere. Valley of the Kings. So they don't got this area, but let's look in the text to see what area they don't got. So now they want to divide up the towns of the Kemet. Now, see, this wouldn't even make no sense if they entertain this as a, I gotta get out the way. I'm gonna move myself to a place that ain't in the way of the text. It don't make no, check the grammar, y'all. This is why we learn the grammar. Why would it make sense to say, we divide, nah, and let me look at the nah in the middle next. It's like these are that of, yeah, there we go. We divide that of those towns, basically. Those towns, Demi right here, starting with the D hand to the Uchik. Now we got an N after this. But this N, if you look over here, is right here. Okay? So that means of. Ta. Now, remember they tried to say it was a demonstrative pronoun? So are you going to say of this Kemet? It don't make sense. We're going to divide the towns of this Kemet. Let's do the translation. We're going to divide the towns of this Egypt. Don't make sense. How about we're going to divide the towns of the black community? Now, if we go back and look at the map, it makes more perfect sense. Because y'all keep saying, oh, the black people would have been in the South. See? See how that backfired? Now, what if in this same text, this is why we deal with primary text. What if in this same text, Amos says out of his mouth that this ain't Kemet in the yellow? What would you do? Oh boy, what would you do? Let me know what you would do. You ain't do nothing? You're not going to acknowledge the facts. If you just seen that the Hyksos ruler sent a letter, well, I can show you better. I can show you the translation. I'm just reading the Medu Neter. But you see the Hyksos ruler sent a letter to the Avaris king. You heard all about this. But now you can see the geography of the situation. All the Amos family, I said the Amos family. You know, Kamos and them. That's Nefertari and them family. Amos Nefertari family. Senku and Ratau. You feel me? That was his sons. And if I pull up Senku and Ratau and they don't say his head should be categorized with the Nubian skulls, then you won't understand what you're trying to see. Get off they getting free ads on my show. I'm not with that. See? That's a free ad. Nope. Now look. If he says in this text what he's about to say. So this is when in the letter, when they want to divide the towns of Kemet. Oh, dang. So this one stop here? No, it don't stop. It says existed, but this is a place, though. Kenti, that ain't Kenti, I'm into you. That's Kenti. That's a place. Kenti Nefer. Or Resi, someplace it might be. All right, let me see. Or Rest Shoot. Let me see. That was a place. But anyway, so he going to the vocabulary now. Maybe I got to go to another Kamos. Or I'm just going to take y'all to the TLA. And it's right here in the TLA. I just was want to show y'all at that other scholastic medium. So when I come down to the text corpus, I want you to see what he says. Oh, I'm in Upper Egypt right now. Hold on. I'm supposed to be on this one. Now, I know it looks weird, but I'm going to try a way to see if I can get it on the screen hella big. Because see, for some reason, this part won't let me pull over to the right side of the text. They only make that big to the left. It's stupid. So I'm going to just reset my screen real quick. It's already reset. So then I'm just going to scroll down to where it says, every man owns his portion of this, see? Then they put part of in parentheses, this Egypt. Don't make no sense. Is there another Egypt? You wouldn't be having to use no demonstrative pronoun unless there was another Egypt. But there's not. That this is the, and Egypt should be translated as black community. You can say black land if you recognize and they talking about the people. Sharing the land with me. Now watch this. It says a man cannot rest or come to rest because he is shaven by the tributes of the Asiatics, right? So if I had to go back to the Medu Neter page because they're not supplying it over here, but check what he's going to do. I will meet him for a fight. So that's what Kamo's going to do. And after they have pulled out their tongues and after taking a deep breath, he said, here come the Magi, I think. What did he say? For us, the best of their fields is plowed. So he's saying, man, they plow their fields, but they plowing their fields for us. Now it says, I want you to see something. Our cattle graze, but they put in the Delta swamps here. And I want you to see why that's significant. Because this word IDHU is a word we're going to come across later. Idhu. And it is actually a word for the Delta area, but there's an Idhu to you and that will be an inhabitant of the Delta, or what they call a Delta dweller. Think about that. A Delta dweller. They don't never put dweller on the name of a person where they should be. You're going to be a sand dweller, a Delta dweller. You're not going to be a city dweller. You're just not. But you'll see it. So here's the sentence we want, and I'll see how big this could get. In this line of the text, Kamo says he holds the land of the Asiatic. Not the Egyptian, but the land of the Asiatic. And we hold Egypt. Now, that's fooling you. Because if you learn it the way they're teaching you, you're never going to get to the truth. He says they hold the land of the Aamu, where he says, Suher ta ni Aamu, land belonging to Asians. Tu ni her kemet. We hold the black community, the black land, the black area. Now, let me show you the map because it's irrefutable. Let me show you the map, bruh. Come on, map. Look. Don't you remember they're going to ask me to join again? I'm just going to hella different sources and hella different places. Now, when he said that, this was the conditions of Egypt. And he wasn't talking about all of the yellow cone. Don't get that twisted. That's why I said that earlier. What he was talking about was Avaris in general, right? But you see how far that rule would have stretched down. He said, we hold Kemet. What did they hold? This area right here. Now, let me stop because we're talking about the two kingdoms. At first, it was significant for us to learn that even during the time of Ahmose, he did not see all of Egypt as the black land. So let's talk about what you guys propose the black land might mean. If the black land is a reference to the fertile Nile silt, Ahmose's statement would not have made sense. He said they hold the land of the Aamu. That's a people. So why is he going to switch to his land? He's going to switch to the dirt. If the most, as you see, the green, let's let the green represent deposits of fertile silt as they go all along the river, right? Don't we see that the most abundant collection of fertile silt? Dude, I'm getting free ad mad. I'm coming off this page. Save this picture again. I'll keep saving y'all picture to stop them ads, bro. Now, don't you see that it would have been so much more fertile silt up here? Let me ask you a simple ass question. When Kamo said they have the land of the Aamu and we have Kemet, could that have possibly, in any regard, in any way, be a reference to the black silt? If so, mount your argument. Let me hear. Let me hear how that could be an ode to the black silt. If you understand the black silt is everything you see in green on the map, but all he held was this area. if that point has been made, then we should be able to reconcile the fact that in our understanding of what Kemet was and what Kamos's understanding, and even what the Ptolemy's understanding of what Kemet was compared to Kamos's understanding, two different things. Two different things. Let's go back to the text. Who could argue with that? It say it in the damn TLA. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Let's challenge the TLA now, and let me show you why we qualified to do this. What if Kamos was saying what they wrote here? He holds the land of the Asiatic. We hold Egypt. Right? You lose it anyway. Right? Let's take it that way. That way probably better. Because you lose worse that way. Let me show you why, if I could ever find the damn picture again. Every time I look it up, it'd be this picture again. I know why, because I'll be doing it like this. What if, okay, let's say I'm wrong and Kamos really said Egypt. Then, bruh, none of this is Egypt. None of it. None of it. The only part that would be Egypt in Kamos's eyes would be this orange circle. They hold the land of the Asiatics. We hold Egypt. That don't make sense. So now what this is illustrating is Kemet wasn't Egypt. You couldn't even use your wittiest wit right now to beat up this argument. This argument is solid. You can't even think your way out of it. There's no way in the world that Kamos thought those delta areas that he called the land of the A'amu, where people now got 80% West Asian A'amu DNA. Take it how you want it. Either he said only this part's in the bottom was Egypt, or either he said this is the black parts. But he wasn't talking about the silk. And we ain't even starting to cook. If someone comes who acts against us, that's his next statement. Talking about no damn silk. He holds the lands of the Asiatics. We hold the black land. And if somebody come and acts against us, we will act against them. Towards me, whoever shall share the land with me, is he saying Kemet there? Does he say Egypt there? No. That's what I'm talking about. We let them translate up everything, and then they just forecasted everything that take the blackness all the way out. No matter how they seen it, they was just changing shit. There's no way around this. They just got to do something with me because it ain't no way around this. I'll show you one of the lead scholars who wrote this in her new 2024 book, the book that Kara Cooney recommended that we got. I'm going to pose the question one more time, and I'm going to say it without no fervor and try to say it simply. Kamos, when fighting the Asiatics, wrote this on his stele, and we could go look at the primary. He holds the land of the Asiatics, we hold Egypt. If the map indeed looked as we show it over and over again, and all of this area along the green line inside of the yellow circle was held by the Hyksos, but he was referring to a Avaris right here, and he said, we hold Egypt, Then how? By any, you gotta be a logical man. You know that he didn't think that all of this was Egypt. Well, you can't say that. I'm explaining it to you. No, he was saying they got the area where all them damn Asiatics be, and we in the black area. Period. The black area. Just like y'all say, Upper Egypt. So let's get to this two lands things. Then I'm gonna grab me a water and chill. I will go north. See? I will go north to have a fight with the Asians. Dang, you would be thinking I'm making this up, huh? So if he's saying he's gonna have a fight with the Asians, who was he? If he's saying he was gonna have a fight with the Asians, who was he? The powerful, victorious ruler with the Theban nome. God, he tell you every time. Kamos the mighty, protector of the black area. Shout out to Kamos. Protector of, they put Egypt. He says Kemet. I hope we understanding that. So let's get to the two lands thing. And this is where we're going to trip off. We're going to go to the beginning of the two lands thing. Let's get to the beginning of this two land stuff, right? So now when we go back to this slide, I want people to know, and they'll be able to see it in the transliteration. The one I'm talking about is Tamehu. All right? That's the Delta-ish areas. So you see that Ta and that MH right there? This is what we scrutinize. And now when we look, translate it go back to the Old Kingdom. See, there's a lot of things that ain't going to even go back as far as this, but we'll talk about it. Meaning, I don't even think the red land or the black land go back as far as Tamehu and Tashemahu, right? So this will be in the Old Kingdom after the unification of the two lands, where they simply say, here's another thing I want you to see. Let's see when the first time somebody say, and this is not an exhaustive research, this is a quick one. I know I need to look at more spellings of the word and stuff. But let's look and see when the first time somebody called themselves, again, in text, not in pictures, and we see the double crown. And so we say the king of Upper and Lower Egypt. Or when we say Nisut Bidi, we're not looking at Nisut Bidi. We're looking at Tamehu, Tashemahu. And let's see who said they was the kings of that. These are burial chapels of the villages of Lower and Upper Egypt. They're not. They're really the burial chapels of the villages of Tashemahu and Tamehu, two independent lands that were unified. We got to understand that. So this word here, it would say Kemet. Well, that's cold because it ain't no word Kemet on this whole thing. I'll take that back. This would say Tamehu, Tashemahu. And it wouldn't be no Egypt on here. They just put Egypt on there. Good products from Tamehu, as you see. You're never going to see a Kemet on any of these things. And you want to ask yourself, well, how did they do that? Here it goes again. Tamehu and Tashemahu. Funerary chapels in cities of the Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt. So, yes, the Egyptologists, yeah, we can say, okay, that's cool. We understand it as that, but the ancient Egyptians didn't. Durable dates from Lower Egypt, no, they was from Tamehu, I apologize. Tamehu. Durable dates from Lower Egypt, Tamehu. Right? It's consistent. There's no need to read every one. But I want to get to the ones where they found, you notice ain't nobody said they the king of Tame or Tashamahu, at least in this inquiry. Villages of Lower Egypt, right? The offering of the funeral sacrifices by the villages of Lower Egypt and the daily festival for the administrator of the royal fortune, Nefer Nisu, the good king. All right. The state management of managers of Tamehu. The Delta, just so you can keep it clear. Now, viewing the offering brought from the villages of the funeral, which is in Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt, 2 different lands. Well, let's trip. The coming of the only friend, the keeper of the Dayim, which says, head of El Khab, belonging to the heart of his master, and keeper of the secrets in the house of the morning, ties from the Delta and from the villages of the dead foundations after viewing. Basically, they ain't saying nothing, royal, nothing. Right? Funerary estates. Now, we all the way, we up in the time of Miriam Ra, and I ain't seen, still says Jed Ka-Ra. The divine sacrifice from Lower and Upper and Lower Egypt. From Lower and Lower Egypt? They messed that up. So we see 2 lands mentioned as 2 separate lands. But in the translation, they're telling us they're called Egypt, and they're also telling us, we know they're unified, they're not wrong for doing that. And they're coming up with a name for the unification that the ancient Egyptians never came up with. There's no Kemet on here anywhere. If Egypt translates back to Kemet, they're taking liberties. Let me see.